Hey everyone, so for today's video, I'm going to be trying out a bunch of new products. This is going to be kind of like a full face of first impressions. Some of these are like first, second, third, but just a bunch of new products and new to me products. Let me know down below if you'd like to see a more in-depth look at any of these items. I would be happy to do that, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. And with all of that, let's jump in. So let's first start off with a new primer to me. Rituelle de Fille sent this to me. It is their Thorn Priming Facial Elixir, their oil. I love a good facial oil, and I think using a facial oil as a primer or as a mix-in is always a smart move if you have more dry skin. So what I'm going to do is use it as a primer today. I'm going to put about that much onto my skin, and my skin, it's doing well right now, but I do feel like I'm dealing with a little bit of dryness as usual. I'm just going to kind of press that in, and I'm really happy that I'm trying out this primer with the foundation that we're trying out, because I really feel like this foundation needs something a little bit more moisturizing and more emollient as a base, but it feels really, really nice. It doesn't actually feel heavy, but it does feel moisturizing. The foundation that we're trying today is the Makeup Forever Watertone foundation. I am a huge, huge fan of the Makeup Forever Reboot foundation. That is literally one of my favorite foundation formulas ever. I was really excited to try this one out as well because it is supposed to also be a very skin-like finish, which is my preference. Now, I will say this is not truly a first impressions for the foundation, and the first time I loved it, the second time I didn't love it. So this is going to be like the third time that I try this out. I will say the texture is very similar to their original Makeup Forever Face and Body. So if you liked that texture, I was a big fan of that texture. You might be a fan of this. This is the shade Y218. It's a little bit light for me. Or, I don't know, maybe. Just pressing that in. Zoom you in a little bit. You can tell that it's certainly more of a sheer coverage. You're not going to get full coverage out of this. But I will say that you will get a little bit more coverage if you use a brush. For me, because I did find that the second time I put this on, it looked a little bit drying, I'm going to go with a sponge because I want to really give this foundation, you know, its best chances. By the way, I bought a facial razor. A lot of you guys have been recommending for me to try it out, and I've always been scared because my skin is more sensitive, but I'm kind of excited to finally try it out. Would you guys want to see me try it out for like the first time on camera, or would you rather me get the hang of it and then like show you how I use it if I like it? Let me know down below if that's something you're interested in. But all right, I much prefer the way that this looks with this primer. I like that it gives it a little bit more of a glow. Obviously you can see the glow, but it still looks super, super skin-like. I'm gonna apply just a little bit more onto this area because I felt like I didn't blend it properly over there. A second layer, I can definitely see that the coverage builds. So that's a good thing. Kind of in these areas around my nose where I have a little bit of texture. It doesn't look the best, but it doesn't look the worst. I feel like this is just one of those foundations that is probably more geared towards combination skin. If you've tried this and you've liked it or hated it or whatever, let me know your experience and your skin type. But I actually quite like the way that this looks with the priming elixir. When I don't have the priming elixir on, this is super, super thin and it kind of dries down a bit. But with this, I think it's definitely giving it more of a glowy finish. I'm really excited to start incorporating this, like a couple of drops here and there into my foundation. Next up for concealer, I have one from Fitglow that they sent to me. This is the Eye Bright Correct. I also have one other shade, I think. I actually have two other shades. I have the Peach Corrector, and then I also have C1. I believe C1 I purchased myself, and then I just didn't really get to try it. So I think what I want to do today is use a little bit of the Peach Corrector. I think that's what I want to do, just a little bit, because this is pretty pigmented. So I'm just going to concentrate that kind of in the hollow. And then I'm going to apply a little bit of the regular concealer on top of it. I found out about Fitglow from State of Kate, and she always talked very highly about their lip serums. And since trying those, such a beautiful, beautiful formula. It's expensive, but I definitely think that the formula is super luxe and cushiony. Again, I'm just using a little bit in this kind of hollow area to do a little bit of correcting. So far so good. It looks really nice. And now I'm going to go in with C1, and I'm not going to use that much. And because this formula is a little bit thicker, I'm not going to let this sit like I usually do. Usually let my concealer sit so I get more coverage, but you can see that this coverage is pretty good on its own, so let's go ahead and blend that. I'm using my fingers because this formula is thicker, so I really want to help kind of warm it up. It's mostly blended out. I'm just going to take the same sponge and kind of press it in a little bit. Not sure if you guys can see that, but I really think that the correctors look better on my skin for some reason. I think the concealers look a little bit dry on me. Just looks a little bit heavier, and in general, like, my eyelids look just more textured. Again, this is more like a first impressions. I think I might keep trying these out, but usually with concealers, honestly, the first time I try them, I know if I'm going to like them or not. But I didn't notice that kind of dry look when I was applying the brightener, so something to keep in mind. I am going to kind of brighten up the middle of my face, just so everything looks a little bit more seamless. But now we have so many beautiful cream products to try out today. I have the Sunkissed bronzing cream from NARS. I have the Melt Blushlights I've heard so many good things about. And I also have the new Moonbeam cushion highlighter from M Cosmetics. So let's get on into the NARS Sunkissed bronzing cream. I have tried this, but I need to give it another go. The other time I tried this, I kind of just put it on over the makeup I already had on all day. So that's usually not like the best tell of a product, but oh, by the way, I got this Squidward sponge from Wet n Wild. Oh, this is pretty pigmented. Take some of this on the other side. I actually really like it. I like it more as a dry sponge to kind of press product in, but dry sponges, in my opinion, are really underrated. Yeah, so I guess we're going for more of a bronzed look. Noted that this is actually a decently pigmented product. And because this has a flat surface like this, I feel like it's really easy to like press this in. Right now it's blending pretty nicely. So this side looks pretty nice. I actually really like the blend over here, and I don't feel like I over applied it. But over here, I am noticing right in here, this is kind of my trouble spot. If a product is not going to blend nicely on my skin, it's usually right around here. And it doesn't look awful, but I am noticing it. I'm noticing that the product doesn't want to stick there, and it just looks a little bit choppy. But let's see how blush goes on top of this. I'm super excited about this. I'm going to just take my finger and apply this Melt Blushlight. This is the shade Sundown. So I was so freaking excited for this launch because I am not someone that likes a lot of glitter in their makeup products, like especially cheek products. But this got like some incredible reviews. So I was really excited to give it a go. And something I really like about this is that the shimmer really doesn't look heavy on the skin, and it doesn't make the skin look textured, which I love. And it does give you like a really beaming kind of look without having to apply highlight. So I feel like in the summer especially, I'm all about quick makeup. So if I can get really nice glow just from my blush, that's probably the way that I'm going to be going. Honestly, I kind of prefer the way that this blush is working as like as a bronzer more than the bronzer that I have on. Like obviously this isn't a perfect bronzing shade. It does give you that kind of sun-kissed kind of look. And I feel like super glowy right now. And that is what the cheeks look like. I feel like there are a couple of spots that are just not blending well. And I really feel like it's probably the bronzer. It's taken a lot for me to find cream bronzers that I really can stand behind and love and blend like super beautifully. If you guys want to see like my favorite cream bronzers and like round it up in a video, just, you know, first or second impressions are that this is just not going to work for me. One of the reasons why I immediately say that is the texture. The texture is extremely similar to the blushes that NARS came out with, those soft matte blushes, I believe. And there's quite a bit of like a silicone kind of slip to them. And I feel like that is a pretty polarizing kind of formula. For me, I find that it doesn't look as smooth. It's difficult to blend because it kind of like picks back up on itself a little bit, at least on my skin. And with my skin, in general, I find that that kind of formula has not worked. And this seems to be pretty freaking similar to that blush formula. So not really loving that, but the Blushlight I really like. And why not? Let's add some more highlight. M Cosmetics sent me all 3 shades of the new Moonbeam cushion highlight. I think I'm gonna go in with Aura. It comes in this cute little cushion. I really like that color. It's very like opal-y. I really like that. This is like one of my favorite sounds ever. I would say it's kind of like just a lighter champagne. So let's put this on as if I need any more glow. I feel like I'm, you know, pretty freaking glowy today, but you know, why not? This sponge is tiny and so freaking cute. Let's put this on. Oh wow, this is glowy. Holy cow. I don't think I was expecting this to be such a strong highlight. Let me blend out these edges. This is really glowy. You do not need that much product. So on this side, I'm gonna use a little bit less. And I'm already like pretty glowy, so that's why I feel like it's a little bit too much. Holy crap. Well, I might as well put some down my nose too. Oh my good lord, this is a lot of glow. So over here, I put way too much on, and I am definitely seeing it like pick up my texture. Actually funny, this is like set down a lot. It's very thin, so it's not like a really creamy cream highlight. So if you prefer thinner textures, this is certainly more thin. But I'm definitely seeing it pick up texture over here. But when I applied a little bit less over here, I don't think that it looks as textured. So if you're interested in this, I would say like you really don't need that much. Go in with like one little thin layer and you will get the glow. And while we're here, all up close. I have to say that, like, I don't know how I feel about this foundation. It's kind of like sitting on top of some of these more dry areas. And here, definitely seeing it like sit on my skin. My skin is a little bit more dry than usual, I guess, but not, I just feel like there are other foundations that do a better job of keeping it looking hydrated and very smooth. Yeah, weirdly enough, all in this kind of area, it's kind of sitting on my skin. I feel like that highlight looks really good. Like even just a little bit will go a long way. And the blush is really pretty. Very excited to keep using this. As for the bronzer, I just think it's one of those products that's a little bit finicky. I'm gonna have to keep trying it, but we do have more products to try. So let's keep rolling. Let's do a little bit of like a winged out look with this Macqueen waterproof pencil liner. What shade is this? This is a K-Beauty brand. This is the shade 07. The actual texture is super creamy, so I'm excited to see how this blends out, like if I can get a really pretty kind of smudgy look. Just applying it onto my lid, and then I'm just going to take a little bit more of a detail brush. This is my Sephora Pro 18. This is like one of my favorites. And I'm just gonna kind of wing this out a little bit. Oh, it looks like it has a little bit of sparkle to it. I'm just going for like more of a kind of smudgy look. I don't want anything super, super graphic. Just want to go with something quick and easy. I think that looks pretty good. But I will say that my eyelids are looking kind of dry from that concealer, unfortunately. Still feel like the corrector is the better way to go with that one. Let me quickly do the other eye. We'll put on some mascara, and then let's get into lips. There are the eyes. I really like this shade of liner. Again, it's the shade 07. I feel like it's like nice and plummy and smoky, but it's not too smoky. Put on my Lash Princess because I didn't have another new mascara to try. The only thing I would change about the eyes is that I feel like just the concealer that I've put on top of the lids looks dry. For the lips, this is not a new product. These are the Lustre Lipsticks from MAC. But which one? I think I'm gonna go with this one. This is Ladybug. This formula is super smooth. Not even using a liner because what the heck. Just have a Q-tip and just gonna blend everything out. And this is the completed look. I actually really like the overall look, but some of the individual products I'm not a huge fan of. So far so good with the Thorn oil. I think it looks really glowy, like the base itself, it gave the Makeup Forever a little bit more glow. The Watertone I'm not really a huge fan of right now. Just feel like it's not blending and working well with my skin, but the Melt blushes definitely are. I cannot wait to keep trying this formula. Just love it for like quick, easy, glowy makeup. The Cosmetics highlight, be warned if you don't like a lot of glow, like this gives you that glow. Very lightly, I think it looks really pretty though. As for Sunkissed bronzing cream from NARS, this is the shade Laguna, by the way. I'm just not liking it. I think it's a little bit finicky, and again, with those more silicone-rich formulas, they just don't really get along well with me. Really liking the liner, actually, and the lip product's really nice, too. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this quick little video, and I will see you in my next one.